Why do you keep telling yourself you're not ready? That's the lie, isn't it? The one you've been whispering in the dark. The convenient, comfortable fiction you cling to when the world gets too loud, too demanding, too relentless. You're not ready. You don't have the resources. You don't have the connections. You don't have the time. You don't have the mind for it. It's the grand, sweeping excuse for all the grand, sweeping dreams you've let gather dust. The world doesn't care about your excuses. The universe isn't taking notes on your justifications. Success, true, lasting, soul-etching success, doesn't wait for your permission slip. It doesn't knock politely and ask if now is a good time. It's a force of nature, a silent, unyielding current. And you're either caught in its flow or you're fighting it, drowning in the eddies of your own self-doubt. You see, the outer game is just a reflection of the inner war. The battles you lose in the world are merely echoes of the battles you've already surrendered in your mind. The fortunes you chase, the achievements you long for, the impact you wish to create, they are all born in the invisible crucible of your consciousness. Before a single brick was laid, before a single line of code was written, before a single note of music was played, there was an idea, a whisper, a spark. Consider the giants, the ones who built empires, who bent reality to their will, who rewrote the rules of what was possible. Did Thomas Edison wake up one morning with a fully formed light bulb in his hands? Did Henry Ford just stumble upon the assembly line? Did Walt Disney's Magic Kingdom just appear out of thin air? No. They all started with a simple yet terrifyingly powerful decision. The decision to believe in something that didn't yet exist. The decision to declare their intention to a universe that seemed intent on proving them wrong. That's the first law of the inner game. Belief isn't a passive hope, it's an active command. It's not a gentle wish whispered into the wind. It's a roar. It's a certainty so unshakable that it bends the world to its will. It's the unwavering conviction that your dream, your vision, your purpose is not just a possibility, but an absolute inevitability. This isn't about positive thinking. It's about a deep, cellular level knowing. It's the difference between saying, I hope to succeed and I will succeed. One is a wish. The other is a declaration of war against mediocrity. But this kind of belief isn't a gift you're born with. It's a muscle you forge in the fires of your own doubt. You build it by taking the first small, terrifying step. You strengthen it by refusing to be defined by the opinions of others. You solidify it by feeding it with the right fuel, not the junk food of social media comparison, not the empty calories of other people's validation, but the raw, unvarnished truth of your own potential. So let's talk about that potential. Where is it? It's not out there. It's not in a book you haven't read or a seminar you haven't attended. It's in the quiet spaces between your thoughts, in the flicker of an idea that makes your heart beat a little faster. It's in the voice that whispers, what if, when everyone else is shouting, no way. The second law of the inner game is, clarity isn't a luxury, it's a prerequisite. You can't hit a target you can't see. You can't steer a ship without a destination. And yet so many of us are drifting. We have vague aspirations, generic desires. We want to be successful, happy, wealthy. But what do those words even mean? What does success look like for you? What does it feel like? What is the specific, tangible, measurable outcome you're chasing? Imagine a sculptor. Before the chisel even touches the marble, the sculpture already exists, perfect and complete in their mind. They're not chipping away randomly, hoping to create something beautiful. They're revealing what's already there. Your purpose is the same. It's not something you invent, it's something you uncover. It's a process of subtraction, of chipping away all the things you're not until all that's left is the magnificent thing you were always meant to be. This is the power of a definite purpose. It's the North Star that guides every decision, every action, every sacrifice. It's the why that fuels the what. Without it, you're a ship without a rudder, tossed about by every passing gust of wind. You'll chase a dozen different opportunities, only to find yourself back where you started, exhausted and empty-handed. But with a definite purpose, you have an unbreakable compass. You know when to say yes, and more importantly, when to say no. I didn't invent this concept. He simply codified a universal truth he observed in the lives of the world's most successful people. Andrew Carnegie, the steel magnate who mentored Hill, didn't just want to build a business. He had a vision to dominate an entire industry. His purpose was so clear, so all-consuming, that it became a self-fulfilling prophecy. Every choice, from hiring his team to investing in new technology, was filtered through that singular, burning purpose. Your purpose doesn't have to be to build an empire. It could be to write a single book that changes one person's life. It could be to build a business that serves a community you care about. It could be to master a skill so completely that you become a quiet force of nature. The scale doesn't matter. The clarity does. So stop hiding behind the vague desire to do something great. Get specific. Get brutally honest with yourself. What is the one thing, above all else, you are here to do? What is the problem you were born to solve? What is the gift you were meant to give the world? It's not a question you answer with your intellect. It's a question you answer with your soul. Because until you have that answer, you're just playing a game with no rules. You're trying to win a fight without knowing what you're fighting for. And that, my friend, is a battle you will lose every single time. It's time to stop the guessing and start the knowing. It's time to etch your purpose into the stone of your mind and then get to work revealing the masterpiece it's destined to become. The sculptor doesn't doubt the statue's existence. They simply get to work. What's holding you back from picking up your own chisel? The answer isn't in a new tool or a different piece of marble. It's in the quiet decision to believe in the masterpiece within. It's in the courage to make a mess, to make mistakes, to chip away at the non-essential until only the essential remains. The truth is, the world is waiting not for a perfect product, but for an honest process. Your process, your masterpiece. The greatest fortunes, both material and spiritual, are never stumbled upon. They are painstakingly, deliberately, and often painfully built. The blueprints for these empires, whether a business, an artistic legacy, or a life of profound purpose, aren't found in a library. They're forged in the relentless pursuit of a clear, burning vision. And this is where most people falter. They have a flicker of an idea, a momentary burst of inspiration, but they lack the discipline to turn that spark into a roaring, all-consuming fire. This is the third law of the inner game. Discipline isn't punishment. It's the ultimate act of self-love. It's the unwavering commitment to a future you can't yet see, even when the present is screaming for your attention, begging you to take the easy way out. Discipline is the bridge between who you are and who you want to become. It's the invisible force that transforms potential into reality. Think about the men and women who have truly changed the world. Elon Musk didn't build SpaceX and Tesla by working 40-hour weeks. He built them with an almost inhuman level of focus, with a discipline that bordered on obsession. Abraham Lincoln didn't just drift into the presidency and save a nation. He was a man defined by his unyielding commitment to his principles, a discipline forged in the crucible of personal tragedy and professional failure. His vision for a unified nation was so clear, so compelling, that it gave him the strength to endure a brutal war, political opposition, and unimaginable personal loss. Discipline is the fuel that runs your engine. Without it, your most brilliant ideas are just idle dreams. The key isn't to force yourself to do things you hate. The key is to connect your daily actions, no matter how small or mundane, to your definite purpose. When you clean your workspace, you're not just tidying up. You're creating an environment of clarity that reflects the clarity of your vision. When you read a book about your craft, you're not just consuming information. You're feeding your mind with the knowledge required to bring your purpose to life. Every action, every choice becomes a deliberate step on the path to your destiny. This is the power of habitual discipline. It's the ritual of showing up day after day, even when you don't feel like it. It's the relentless march forward, one small step at a time, toward a goal so clear it feels like a memory. The myth of the overnight success is just that, a myth. The truth is, success is built in the quiet moments, in the hours of unglamorous, consistent work that no one ever sees. It's the thousand small decisions to stay focused, to say no to distractions, to choose growth over comfort. But let's be honest. Discipline is hard. It's a battle against the very nature of human inertia. The old, comfortable self will fight you every step of the way. It will whisper, just one more episode, just one more hour of scrolling. You can start tomorrow. And that's where the fourth law comes in. The fourth law of the inner game is action isn't a future possibility. It's a present necessity. Thinking about doing something doesn't count. Planning to do something doesn't count. The universe doesn't respond to your intentions. It responds to your actions. The gap between a dream and reality is bridged not by wishing, but by doing. This is the principle of applied faith. It's the moment you take your burning belief and your crystal clear purpose and you pour them into the real world. It's the cold call you make that you're terrified to make. It's the first paragraph you write when you're convinced you have nothing to say. It's the prototype you build with your own hands, even though it's clumsy and imperfect. Ford didn't just think about building a car for the masses. He got to work in a shed, tinkering with engines and prototypes. Steve Jobs didn't just imagine a revolutionary computer. He and Steve Wozniak built the Apple I in a garage by hand. These weren't grand, perfectly executed first steps. They were messy, imperfect, and fraught with uncertainty. But they were actions. And those actions, fueled by a definite purpose and a relentless belief, were the seeds from which empires grew. The greatest enemy of progress isn't failure. It's paralysis. It's the fear of getting it wrong that keeps you from starting at all. But here's the secret. There is no wrong way to start. There is only the courage to begin. The most important thing you can do right now, the single most powerful action you can take, is to take any action, to just start, to put one foot in front of the other, even if you don't know the full path. Because the path reveals itself not to those who sit and wait, but to those who are in motion. It's in the middle of the work that the aha moments happen. It's during the grind that the serendipitous connections are made. It's in the process of doing that the answers you've been searching for reveal themselves. So stop waiting for the perfect moment. The perfect moment is a myth. The perfect moment is the one you create by taking action. The real wealth isn't in the outcome, it's in the courage to take the first step. It's in the quiet, undeniable satisfaction of knowing you are no longer a passive observer of your own life, but the active, determined, and undeniable creator of your own destiny. The world will tell you that the path to success is a straight line, a logical progression from A to B. But anyone who has ever built anything of significance knows the truth. It's a chaotic, winding, often brutal journey. The roadmap you draw up on a clean sheet of paper will almost certainly be torn to shreds by reality. The plans you make will be tested by unexpected setbacks, unforeseen obstacles, and moments of crushing failure. And this is precisely where most people lose their way. They see the setback as a sign to stop, a validation of their fears. But the masters of the inner game see something else entirely. This brings us to the fifth law. Resilience isn't an option. It's the price of admission. It's the ability to get back up again and again with more conviction than you had when you were knocked down. It's not about avoiding failure. It's about embracing it as an essential part of the process. Think of Abraham Lincoln. Before he was the great emancipator, he was a man who lost 8 elections, twice failed in business, and suffered a nervous breakdown. Imagine the weight of those failures, the public humiliation, the private torment. But he didn't quit. He saw each setback not as a final verdict, but as a lesson. Each loss was a data point, an opportunity to learn, adapt, and refine his approach. His resilience wasn't just a character trait, it was a strategic advantage. It was the quality that allowed him to outlast his opponents and eventually to unite a broken nation. The modern equivalent can be found in entrepreneurs like Sarah Blakely, the founder of Spanx. She faced rejection after rejection from manufacturers, all of whom told her her idea was foolish. A less resilient person would have quit. But Blakely was a master of the inner game. She saw each no as a stepping stone, a challenge to find a different path. She didn't let the opinions of others define her reality. She was so convinced of her purpose that she was willing to do whatever it took, for as long as it took, to make it a reality. Resilience is forged in the fire of failure. It's the strength you build when you get knocked down and refuse to stay there. It's the understanding that every mistake, every misstep, every closed door is not a punishment, but a powerful source of information. It's the ultimate learning tool. And this leads to the sixth law. Learning isn't a phase of life, it's a lifestyle. The moment you stop learning, you stop growing. And the moment you stop growing, you start dying. The world is in a constant state of flux. What worked yesterday may not work tomorrow. The skills that got you here will not be the skills that get you there. The giants of history weren't just doers, they were voracious learners. Thomas Edison, despite having a limited formal education, was a perpetual student. He had a massive library and was constantly reading, experimenting, and absorbing knowledge. He understood that innovation is not an act of magic. It's an act of combining existing ideas in new and novel ways. The more he learned, the more raw material he had to work with. Today, in a world of information overload, the challenge isn't access to knowledge. It's the discipline to filter out the noise and focus on what truly matters. It's the ability to find the signal in the chaos. This means being intentional about what you consume. It means carving out time to read books that challenge you, to listen to podcasts that expand your thinking, and to have conversations with people who are smarter than you. The most successful people don't just consume information, they apply it. They learn by doing. They read a book about sales and then they immediately put a new technique into practice. They watch a tutorial on a new software and then they get to work on a project using that software. This is the difference between passive learning and active learning. Passive learning fills your head with facts. Active learning fills your life with results. So ask yourself, what is the one skill, the one piece of knowledge that would have the biggest impact on your purpose right now? And what are you doing right this very moment to go out and get it? The world doesn't care about your potential. It cares about your output. It cares about the value you create. And the only way to create more value is to become a more valuable person. And the only way to become a more valuable person is to commit to the relentless, unending process of learning and growth. The inner game of wealth isn't just about making money. It's about becoming the kind of person who is capable of making, sustaining, and multiplying wealth in all its forms. It's about building a fortress of character, a mind of unshakable conviction, and a spirit of relentless determination. It's about transforming yourself from someone who hopes for success into someone who commands it. The greatest secret of wealth, the one they don't teach you in school, is that it is not something you get, it's something you become. You don't attract success by chasing it, but by radiating it. This isn't some mystical feel-good philosophy. It's a foundational principle of reality. The universe responds to what you are, not to what you wish you were. It mirrors your inner state. If your inner world is one of scarcity, fear, and doubt, that is what you will manifest. If your inner world is one of abundance, gratitude, and purpose, that is what you will create. This is the seventh law. Gratitude isn't just a feeling, it's an operating system. It's the conscious decision to focus on what you have rather than on what you lack. It's the daily practice of acknowledging the abundance that already exists in your life. This isn't about being naive or complacent. It's about shifting your perspective, about retraining your mind to see opportunity instead of scarcity. Think of it this way. The human mind is a powerful engine of creation, but its default setting is to focus on threats and deficits. We're wired to see what's missing, what could go wrong, what we don't have. Gratitude is the override switch. It's the conscious act of rewiring your brain to seek out and amplify the positive. When you operate from a place of gratitude, you are signaling to the universe that you are ready for more. You are saying, I am so thankful for what I have, and I trust that even greater things are on their way. This isn't about magical thinking. It's about energy. When you are grateful, you are in a state of high vibrational energy. You are more creative, more optimistic, more magnetic. People are drawn to you. Opportunities find you. You become a magnet for the very things you're grateful for. Carnegie didn't just wake up with all the connections he needed. He cultivated a network of brilliant minds by operating from a place of genuine enthusiasm, a conviction in the power of collaboration, and a deep appreciation for the contributions of others. He attracted greatness because he saw greatness in others and was grateful for it. The eighth law of the inner game is adaptability isn't a weakness, it's a superpower. The world is not a static place. Technology changes, markets shift, new challenges emerge. The people who win are not the strongest or the smartest, but the ones most willing and able to adapt. Charles Darwin's observation about the survival of the fittest applies just as powerfully to the modern world of business and personal development. It's not the biggest company that survives, but the one that can pivot faster. It's not the most talented person who wins, but the one who can adjust their sails when the wind changes direction. Look at the giants of our time. Steve Jobs was famously fired from the company he co-founded. The easy path would have been to quit, to retreat into bitterness. But instead, he adapted. He started a new company, NextT, and bought another, Pixar. These experiences, forged in the fires of failure, taught him invaluable lessons that he would later bring back to Apple, transforming it from a struggling company into the most valuable corporation on the planet. Adaptability is born from a place of radical honesty and a willingness to let go of what isn't working. It requires a certain kind of humility, the understanding that your original plan might be flawed and that new information requires a new approach. It's the ability to say, this isn't working, and that's okay. What's the new plan? Without this, you become a prisoner of your own ego, chained to a sinking ship because you can't bear to admit it's time to find a new one. And this brings us to the final and most important law, the one that ties all the others together. The ninth law of the inner game is purpose isn't a discovery, it's a commitment. You don't stumble upon your destiny, you choose it, you declare it, and then you work relentlessly to make it a reality. The great lie is that your purpose is something you'll just magically find one day, like a lost key under the couch. The truth is, your purpose is the conscious decision to pour your energy, your passion, and your gifts into something that matters. It's the choice to create meaning in a world that often feels meaningless. This is the ultimate soul-etching choice you have to make. Are you going to be a passenger in your own life, or are you going to take the wheel? Are you going to be a victim of circumstance, or are you going to be the architect of your destiny? The inner game of wealth is not about money. It's about freedom. It's about the freedom to create a life of your own design, on your own terms. It's the freedom to not just make a living, but to build a legacy. It's the freedom to not just exist, but to truly live. The decision is yours. The time is now. So, I ask you one last time, are you ready to master the inner game of wealth? Or are you going to keep telling yourself that same convenient lie? The world is waiting not for a perfect version of you, but for the brave one, the one who has the courage to declare their purpose, the conviction to pursue it, and the resilience to never, ever give up. The game has already begun. The only question is, are you going to play to win? Is the game of wealth really about the spreadsheets, the stocks, the side hustles, and the endless hustle culture you've been sold? Or are you playing a game you've already lost before you even began? The world tells you to chase the money, to follow the trends, to grind until your bones ache and your mind turns to dust. It sells you the illusion that wealth is a destination you arrive at, a number in your bank account, a collection of objects that signify your success. It's a game of outward appearances, of comparing your highlight reel to someone else's backstage struggles. But what if I told you that's the greatest deception of all? What if the true game of wealth isn't an outward pursuit, but an inward excavation? You see, for most, the pursuit of money is a desperate scramble born of fear. Fear of not having enough, fear of being left behind, fear of judgment. And this fear, this deep-seated anxiety, is the very force that sabotages you. It clouds your judgment, cripples your courage, and keeps you chained to a mediocre existence. It's the difference between Henry Ford seeing an assembly line where others saw a crazy idea and the thousands who laughed at his vision. It's the difference between Andrew Carnegie's unwavering conviction and the generations of men who toiled in his steel mills for a paycheck. They were all playing a different game. One was playing the inner game. The others were simply playing to survive. The first rule of this inner game is to understand that your mindset is not a passive state. It is the engine, the architect, the crucible from which all future reality is forged. You cannot build a fortune from a foundation of poverty-minded thinking. This isn't some New Age platitude. It's a fundamental law of cause and effect. A mind conditioned for scarcity will always find scarcity. It will see obstacles where others see opportunities. It will find reasons to quit where others find reasons to persevere. It will tell you that the odds are stacked against you, that you're not smart enough, not connected enough, not lucky enough. It's a silent killer of dreams, a whisper that becomes a roar. Look at the giants of history. Were they simply born with a golden spoon? No. They were born with a golden mindset. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before he invented the light bulb. But he didn't see failure. He saw thousands of ways that didn't work. His mind was conditioned not by the outcome, but by the process. He possessed an unwavering belief in a future he couldn't yet see, a future he was determined to create. His belief was so strong it became a reality. It's the difference between a person who sees a problem and says, "This is impossible," and one who sees the same problem and asks, "How can I solve this?" Your thoughts are not random noise. They are seeds. Every thought you entertain, every story you tell yourself, every whispered doubt or silent ambition is planting something in the fertile ground of your subconscious. The world we see is merely a reflection of the world we hold within. If your inner world is cluttered with doubt, fear, and self-limiting beliefs, your outer world will be a reflection of that chaos. But if your inner world is built on a foundation of clarity, conviction, and unshakable purpose, your outer world will align with that intention. It's the first and most difficult step to take absolute ownership of your thoughts, to become the gatekeeper of your own mind, to choose which seeds you will water and which you will starve. This isn't about positive thinking. That's a fragile, superficial facade. This is about cultivating an ironclad, unshakable belief in your own potential. It's the deep-rooted conviction that you are not a victim of circumstance, but the master of your destiny. This belief is not granted to you. It is forged in the fire of experience, in the quiet moments of reflection, and in the conscious decision to dismiss every voice that tells you it's not possible. This belief is what separates the dreamers from the doers, the spectators from the creators. It's what propelled Walt Disney to build an entire magical kingdom on a belief that seemed impossible to everyone else. His belief was so powerful, he pulled an entire universe into existence. Do you believe in yourself, truly? Or are you just hoping for the best? Because hope is a shaky foundation. Belief is a bedrock. You must believe in your vision with such intensity that it becomes more real than your current reality. This requires radical clarity. Most people are wandering through life like a ship without a rudder, blown about by every passing wind and current. They have no clear destination, so they arrive at no place of significance. You must define what you want with surgical precision. Not a vague wish, but a detailed, vivid, soul-etching vision of the future you are going to create. I call this the definite chief aim. It's the single-minded focus that drives all your actions. It's the lighthouse that guides you through the storms. Your vision must be so clear that you can see it, feel it, taste it. You must live in it before it exists. This clarity is not a luxury. It's a non-negotiable prerequisite for success. Without it, you are simply reacting to the world instead of creating it. You're living someone else's script instead of writing your own. This is where the concept of purpose becomes paramount. A vision without a purpose is just a daydream. A purpose is the why behind your what. Why do you want to create this wealth? Is it to buy more things? Or is it to create more freedom? Is it to impress others, or is it to build a legacy? Is it to escape a life you hate, or is it to create a life you love? Your purpose is your fuel. It's the deep primal fire that keeps you going when the spreadsheets are red and the side hustles fail. It's what drove Elon Musk to endure years of setbacks and ridicule to build SpaceX and Tesla. He wasn't motivated by money. He was motivated by a purpose that was bigger than himself, to make humanity a multiplanetary species. So, what is your purpose? Not your job, not your title, but your reason for being. The answer to this question will determine the ceiling of your success. A person motivated by a deep and meaningful purpose will always outperform a person motivated by a shallow desire for more stuff. Your purpose gives your vision a soul. And when your vision has a soul, it becomes a magnet for the people, resources, and opportunities you need to bring it to life. This isn't magic. It's a natural law of attraction. You attract what you are, not what you want. Now, a clear vision and a powerful purpose are worthless without discipline. This is where most people fail. They have a dream, but lack the discipline to do the work. They have a vision, but lack the grit to show up day after day, week after week, year after year. Discipline is not a punishment. It is the ultimate act of self-love. It's the willingness to do what is necessary, even when it's uncomfortable. It's the silent, consistent, daily choice to align your actions with your purpose. It's the habit of showing up when you don't feel like it. It's the relentless focus on the process, not just the outcome. Discipline is the bridge between a dream and a reality. It's what separates the wishful thinkers from the high achievers. It's what transformed Michael Jordan from a talented athlete into a global icon. He wasn't just talented, he was relentlessly, brutally disciplined. He was in the gym when others were asleep. He was practicing when others were celebrating. His discipline was a manifestation of his purpose. He wanted to be the best, and he understood that the best was a daily choice. And this daily choice leads to action. This is the great divide. The world is full of brilliant ideas gathering dust in the minds of people who never took action. They spend their lives preparing to prepare, planning to plan, waiting for the perfect moment that never comes. The only difference between a dreamer and a doer is a single deliberate act of courage. It's the courage to launch the website, make the first sales call, write the first chapter, send the first email. Action is the currency of a life well lived. It's the only thing that moves the needle. Don't wait for permission. Don't wait for all the answers. The path becomes clear only when you start walking. The great fortunes of this world were not built by those who had all the answers. They were built by those who had the courage to take the first step, to fail fast, learn quickly, and adapt relentlessly. The most dangerous form of paralysis is the analysis paralysis. The person who is stuck in the endless loop of planning and researching, all in the name of getting it right. The greatest victories are won by those who are willing to get it wrong first. As you take action, you must cultivate a profound sense of gratitude. This isn't a passive, sentimental feeling. It's an active, powerful force. Gratitude shifts your focus from what you lack to what you have. It builds a mindset of abundance. When you are grateful for the opportunities, the lessons, the people, and the progress, you attract more of them. Gratitude is the magnet that pulls more good into your life. It's the acknowledgement that the universe is conspiring in your favor, not against you. This mindset is not about ignoring the challenges. It's about being grateful for the strength to face them. It's about being grateful for the lessons learned from every setback. It's a powerful shield against fear and a beacon for abundance. The wealthiest people in the world are not just financially rich. They are rich in spirit. They have an abundance mindset. They see opportunities where others see obstacles. They see lessons where others see failure. And this mindset is a direct result of practicing radical gratitude. The path to wealth is not a straight line. It is a winding, treacherous road filled with unexpected twists and turns. This is why you must possess an unwavering adaptability. The world is changing at an unprecedented pace. The ideas and strategies that worked yesterday may not work tomorrow. To succeed, you must be a relentless student of your craft and a flexible master of your plan. You must be willing to pivot, to change course, to abandon what isn't working and embrace what is. Think of Jeff Bezos. Amazon didn't start as the e-commerce giant we know today. It started as an online bookstore. But Bezos was relentlessly adaptable, constantly experimenting and willing to change the entire business model based on new information. He wasn't emotionally attached to the plan. He was emotionally attached to the vision. And that's the key. Your plan can change, but your purpose must remain unshakable. Your strategies can be fluid, but your conviction must be solid as a rock. Adaptability is born from a quiet confidence, not from arrogance. Arrogance says, I have all the answers. Adaptability says, I'm always learning. It is the willingness to be wrong, the humility to ask for help, the courage to admit that you don't know everything. In a world of constant change, the most adaptable will always be the most successful. They are the ones who not only survive, but thrive. And hand in hand with adaptability is resilience. This is the most crucial skill in the game of wealth. Life will punch you in the gut. The market will crash. The deal will fall through. The client will say no. Your greatest ideas will be met with indifference, and your greatest efforts will be met with failure. But these are not moments of defeat. They are moments of testing. They are the fire that forges your spirit. Resilience is the ability to be knocked down 7 times and get up 8. It's the refusal to stay down. It's the deep knowing that every setback is a setup for a comeback. Look at Abraham Lincoln. He failed in business, suffered a nervous breakdown, lost multiple elections, and experienced profound personal tragedy. But he never gave up. His resilience wasn't born of a shallow optimism. It was born of a deep, unshakable purpose that was bigger than his own pain. He understood that the only way to fail is to quit. Every setback was just another lesson on the path to victory. Your capacity for resilience will determine the altitude of your success. The higher you want to fly, the more storms you must be willing to weather. All of this, the mindset, the belief, the clarity, the purpose, the discipline, the action, the gratitude, the adaptability, and the resilience is part of a lifelong process of learning. This is not a one-time event. This is a journey of constant, relentless self-improvement. The moment you believe you have arrived is the moment you stop growing. The moment you stop growing is the moment you begin to die. The most successful people in the world are not just the smartest, they are the most curious. They are voracious readers, relentless questioners, and eternal students of their craft. They understand that the world is a giant classroom and every experience is a lesson. They are constantly seeking new knowledge, new skills, new perspectives. They invest in their own education because they know that the greatest asset is not in a bank account, but between their ears. They are masters of their own minds, and they are constantly expanding that mastery. This is the difference between a person who makes a fortune and a person who keeps it. One is learning, and the other is just accumulating. The game of wealth is not about finding the secret formula. The secret is that there is no secret. There's only a series of daily choices, a series of internal battles that you must win before you ever face the external ones. It is about becoming the kind of person who is capable of creating and sustaining wealth, because true wealth isn't just a number. It's a state of being. It's a sense of purpose. It's a feeling of freedom. It's the quiet confidence that you are the master of your own destiny, not a victim of circumstance. This is the inner game of wealth. This is the truth that has been waiting for you to discover. The world is full of people who are playing a game of catch-up, a game of comparison, a game of outward appearances. But a select few are playing the long game, the inner game. They are not chasing the money. They are becoming the person who attracts it. They are not waiting for an opportunity. They are creating one. They are not just living a life. They are designing one. So I ask you, not as a question, but as a challenge. Are you ready to stop playing the game you were sold and start playing the game you were meant to win? Are you ready to quiet the noise, look within, and become the master of your own mind? Because the world is waiting for you to create something extraordinary. And the only thing holding you back is the story you continue to tell yourself. The time for a new story is now. The time for a new game is now. The time for a new you is now.